I'd like to introduce Giovanni as one of the early mentors that I recruited for migrant leaders. And until recently, Giovanni was a production leader at Rolls-Royce. And he has recently joined Amazon as an area manager. And he's one of our extraordinary engineering mentors, and no doubt will go on to have an incredibly illustrious career if he already doesn't have it. So Giovanni would like to share his career story with everyone, and I'm delighted to welcome Giovanni Sobrero.
Thank you, Ellen. I hope that everyone is having a good evening. Apologies if I join a couple of minutes later. Just had to quickly finish work today. So yes, I'm gonna describe my career history so far, and I hope that will inspire some of you guys to really pursue what your passion is. And from what I heard so far, there's been a lot of good advices, and what I would really want to say before I actually start presenting my career story is that your academic degree or your background, social background or ethnicity background or cultural background in general doesn't define you at all. You define yourself by the power of your passions and your drive to succeed in what you really believe in. So I'm gonna share my screen now. I hope you should be able to see my presentation. Good evening, everyone. My name is Giovanni Sobrero. I'm from Italy. I've just turned 27 recently, and I'm a mentor at the wonderful Migrant Leader organization. So my story starts in Italy, where my academic background started. I finished high school and joined university for a bachelor degree in mechanical engineering. And straight after, I decided to move to Leeds in the UK, which was a city that was really close to my heart, and pursue a master in mechatronics and robotics engineering. I was really passionate about robotics and mechatronics, and so after my master degree, I was fortunate enough to be offered a place at one of the best British company in history, which is Rolls-Royce in their control system division. Now, I think this is a really good point in my timeline to actually say that I was really passionate about robotics, mechatronics, machine learning, and automation. And so I decided to join the control system department for Rolls-Royce, which is very much involved with the development of the control fuel system and electronic control system for the aircraft engines that Rolls-Royce produces. So I joined Rolls-Royce and I did my graduate scheme, which was between around 16, 18 months. And I moved around different departments. And again, I suggest to everyone that is about to leave university in this conference to really look for graduate scheme, because I found myself very hard to know exactly what you want to do in your life straight after university when you are 22, 23 or 24. So a graduate scheme in any company will give you the opportunity to move around different departments and really experience different career opportunities. And then they will hopefully give you the choice to choose which one is closer to your strength and, to your superpower, so you can pursue as a proper career. So I moved around and I did a lot of, to start with, system engineering, because I was really, really passionate, about MATLAB and Simulink and a lot of programming and machine learning. And system engineering provided me the opportunity to work in a very dynamic environment, because I was working on military projects using a lot of MATLAB and Simulink to simulate certain engine conditions, which were really, really interesting. And I also had the opportunity to actually see an engine to be fired up So it was a really, really good opportunity. And then I decided to still stay technical, so close to my engineering background, and do something different. So I decided to spend 4 months in manufacturing engineering as a manufacturing engineer. So I was overlooking the technical drawing release for new components in the engines that we were making, or to overlook a concession for parts that were not functioning as they were designed to, and do a lot of problem solving, a root cause analysis to understand what were wrong and be proactive and put in the long-term fix, and at the same time making sure that the current parts that were going on engine that were flying people, so 300 lives every time, were fit for function, and we can all fly safely. So after we spent around 10 months between system engineering and manufacturing engineering, I decided to do a mini attachment in something that I never experienced before firsthand, and especially as a professional career, which was project management. So although this was outside my engineering sphere, it was very much related to a technical background. So I was still project managing engineering projects. So having this good deal and knowledge of technical engineering and sound technical background, analytical skills really helped me then being something different in the pool of project managers that Rolls-Royce had. And because this was a very important moment, because I think it was around 13, 14 months in the graduate scheme, and I had to start making a choice, I decided that pure engineering wasn't really for me due to my strength and skills. So I'm a very outgoing person, very social person that getting involved with everyone, and I really getting the hands dirty in a way. Wasn't being in front of a screen for 8-10 hours a day doing a lot of analytical calculations and waiting for results wasn't really for me. So I wanted something more dynamic, and at the same time my experience in project management gave me a new window of opportunity, because I really enjoy managing projects and being the point of contact for projects where the budget was £500,000. It's a big responsibility. So I decided to join operations, which I thought was the perfect mix between engineering, manufacturing, and project management. And because of that, I did the 3 months in operations, and then I kept it as what it was my first proper job into Rolls-Royce after my graduate scheme. And I was a manufacturing project leader for the aftermarket department. Now, as manufacturing project lead, when I first took it on, I didn't really know what actually was involved there until I was 2-3 months into the role. And at that point, I understood that it meant everything. So as a manufacturing project lead for the aftermarket, I was involved with all the legacy product that Rolls-Royce made. So some of you might know the famous Trent 700, which is what made Rolls-Royce really famous, or the RB211, which on the other hand is almost the engine that cracked the company back in the 90s. And I was involved with basically reintroducing replacement parts for all these overall and legacy engines that Rolls-Royce never made. And because I was leading the project from scratches to reintroduce components for these very old engines, I was involved with everything from start to finish. I was managing the project. I was the technical subject matter expert based on my experience in manufacturing engineering and background as an engineer. And I was also responsible for the delivery, and so I was the face with the customer. So it was literally the full life cycle of a component, from the block of metal that you can imagine up to delivery with the customer, to make sure that the component gets delivered on time, on spec, and on budget for the customer. So it was really tough assignment, I would say. It was I was fighting almost a lost battle, because you can imagine, as Rolls-Royce prioritizes new engines over legacy components. So having to try and get a space for manufacturing legacy components on a new production line, it was something really challenging, and I really had to appeal to all my strengths and superpower of being a people person, of always try to look for a win-win situation and compromise with other project leads. So I decided that this was really interesting. It taught me a lot, but I didn't have the direct control of people, which is what production for components really is. So I decided to become a manager at that point and be a production leader, where I could really manage my cell of technicians, of skilled technicians that could actually execute according to my schedule. And I was basically on the other side of the fence for 12 months as a manager. So I had a lot of project leads coming to me asking for their requirement and when they could get those parts delivered. And I was supposed to execute the operations, the production planning, and everything for all the different components. And it was great because he was giving me an overview on all the projects that Rolls-Royce was doing, all projects, new new development project, military, civil, literally everything. And it was really, really good. After 12 months, I have an opportunity presented for me to leave the company and move to what will be my next professional step, which is Amazon. So I joined Amazon in February 2021. So it's just been really 3 months last Saturday. And I've joined as an area manager in operations. So this is my official business title. What it means is that I am a subject matter expert for the Amazon operation delivery system in one of the 2 main departments of Amazon. So Amazon is divided especially in 2 departments: inbound, which receives all the product from different carriers, and outbound, which satisfies customer order. So I work for inbound, and as you can see here, I'm responsible for the inventory management, to make sure that the fulfillment of customer order happens on time, on spec, and on budget. And I'm not sure if you ever order anything on Amazon, but you get it crazy fast. And I really saw why you get it crazy fast, because this place works at another speed, another pace. It's just unbelievable. I'm still getting my head around it. I've literally finished working 20 minutes ago. It's just like, it's crazy, but it's really, really good, because then you have a great satisfaction in actually achieving a lot of volumes every day. So to give you an idea, my average daily volume to be processed as an area manager, to bring parcel in and making sure they are ready to be picked by outbound and delivered to the customer, is around 30,000 units. So that is absolutely incredible. So in Amazon, I don't really have a technical role. I'm more in charge of a bigger team. So I've got 120 associates working for me that need to deliver, need to make sure and process the parcels to make sure that they get delivered to the customer on time. But I am more on the managerial side. And this being said, what I want to mention is that having a technical background and a technical engineering background is such a competitive advantage. So Amazon, if you do a bit of research, is a data-driven company. Like, whatever decision you're gonna make, whatever explanation you have to give, whatever proposal you want to do for a new project, it needs to be backed by solid data. The data are available, they are everywhere. But being able to crunch this data twice as fast as all the other managers, because of a technical background and having a solid mathematical and analytical skills, that really helps crunching those data and also making sense in those data much faster than the other managers is a competitive advantage. I'm really seeing the benefits for it. And although I'm not classified as an engineer anymore, and I've done my academic background in engineering, I'm so grateful for it. And I've done my experience as an engineer, I would say, and you'll see in the next slide. But what I want to say at this point in my career timeline is to basically jump on the back of what I said at the beginning. So your academic background and your social and cultural background doesn't define you at all. If you're passionate about operations and managing people, having a technical background and engineering background doesn't stop you. And on the other hand, if you're really passionate about being subject matter expert engineer, that doesn't stop you being a manager if that is something you want to. So I've seen a lot of managers in Rolls-Royce being very good engineers. Okay, so it works both ways and it doesn't define you. So my suggestion is really work for your passions and have the drive to fulfill and satisfy everything that you are passionate about. So then in this slide, I've just got quick professional highlights. So I hope this will inspire people to actually go for these awards, because some of them are awards, or to find a mentor that can help you achieving these awards. And also I hope this will help people realizing what's out there available. So I won the Bright Spark Award in March 2019 because of the work that I did in system engineering, actually, with the military team. And the Bright Spark was sponsored by the RS Components and the IT, which is actually my professional institution as an engineer, because I cannot neglect the fact that my academic background is engineering. So I was born as an engineer. And then I managed to get Lean Six Sigma certified as a green belt in July 2019. And this is something that I believe all the engineers should pursue. And it's a great addition to your analytical skills and background, because a Six Sigma certification really gives you that set of tools to run continuous improvement projects and lean projects. And there is a lot of data analysis, believe it or not. You use like Minitab as software, which is an analytical software for analyzing big, massive databases of data. So I really hope that people that have got the passion about engineering and continuous improvement at the same time really go for the green belt. So while I was a manufacturing project leader, I also got my qualification in project manager. So I'm a professionally qualified project manager and an engineer at the same time. So is really my suggestion is for everyone here is to never limit your set of skills. Anything that you are passionate and think can complement one of your strengths or superpower, I believe you should go for it. And always be curious and always be passionate about what is outside of your comfort zone, because that's where you really stretch yourself and grow as a professional and as a person. Then, because of my work as a manufacturing project leader, was the winning of the Rising Star Award in December 2019. And finally, 1 year later, in November 2020, I achieved what is probably the biggest milestone of my career so far. I became a chartered engineer, and that was great because it really meant recognition for my academic background and my work experience up to that point. And when I became a chartered engineer, I realized right now it's time to move and combine all my technical skills and all my people skills in something better or bigger. And Amazon is much, much bigger than everything that I ever thought. So this kind of concludes my presentation. It is very simple and is very very lean in a way. There's not much information. There's just an introduction about my career history. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you in different ways. And what I would like to have is like a Q&A session, because I always think that talking about myself is great, but I'm doing this to, help people and inspire people. So if we've got a bit of time, and maybe have a quick Q&A session could help.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Giovanni. This was an inspirational story, and I thought I knew pretty much everything about your wonderful career story, but I really enjoyed hearing your full story, Giovanni. Congratulations on the leading and exemplary engineering career that you've had. And I should really share also that tonight we also have a number of our engineering mentors from either engineering careers or engineering companies. We've got Jordan here from BAE Systems. We've got Jamie from Sienna. We've got Charlotte from AME. We've got Alan and Joe here from Smith & Nephew. We've got Diego Henriquez from Anglo American. These are all operational and engineering companies. And if any of our mentees, perhaps Day or Kanav, as aerospace engineering and mechanical engineering students and others, other mentees, if you have any questions for any of our mentors, please feel free to ask now.
Hello, may I ask my question first, if that's all right?
Hello, Kanav.
Hi, Ilham. Thank you for that. I just want to quickly say, Giovanni, that was very insightful. I actually resonate with a few sentences you said about, the whole, because there's a stereotype with the engineering mind, like where we like to sit on desks and just do calculations. I personally don't think that's the case for myself. I'm currently a second year at University of Manchester doing aerospace engineering, and I'm also working with Migrant Leaders as a student engagement intern. And I wanted to kind of find out if, how you said you now working at Amazon, do you know what sort of like educational background people around you have? Because personally, I don't know if I'll end up in an engineering, like, for example, Rolls-Royce or BAE Systems, or if I'll end up somewhere else. I want to know, like, what kind of people do you work alongside on a day-to-day?
That is a great question, because you wouldn't believe the educational background that I've got around me. And it's more like not even the educational background that I've got around me, it's more the roles that those people actually have. So to give you an idea, what I think my career developing in Amazon is going to be, I think my next role will be a process engineer in Amazon. So I'm currently proxying, which is basically stepping up and supporting a process engineer. Oh, hang on a second, I hate this. That time, there's nothing I can do. So I'm proxying for a process engineer, and he comes from, his academic background is actually geography. And before working as a process engineer in Amazon, he worked as an operational manager at IKEA. So he has a lot of, experience in a retail company, which is what Amazon fulfillment center are about. But he's leading engineering projects, and I've seen the project he's leading for £500,000 to automating the process that is used to unload very big containers. So if you imagine like a container filled with TVs, the amount of boxes, like the size of those boxes and the weight of those boxes are very large, and you're easily talking more than 15 kilos per box, which is a very physical activity. So the way what he's looking at is introducing this robotic, so automated system that automatically picks the boxes instead of having a person picking the boxes and then putting them on a conveyor and so on. He's looking at introducing a robotic arm, basically, that automatically picks the boxes up and puts them on the conveyor, and then the associates down the line process the box. So again, your academic background doesn't define you, doesn't limit you. He comes from geography, IKEA, and is leading this project to introduce automated and robotic arm. And the reason is because he's very good with data. He's got a very analytical mind, and he's very calculated in everything he does. But this is exactly what I was saying before. Having this academic background is a big competitive advantage, because I feel, because of my academic background, I could be a great process engineer, because yes, he's very good with data, but I feel like I'm crunching data twice as fast as he does, and I really understand it. And I also, having studied robotics and mechatronics, I had a lot of interaction with actually robotics arm company. So funnily enough, this is a project that seems to be tailor-made on me, and is a £500,000 project. So it's not a project that doesn't have any visibility inside the company. So I believe that my next role, I would love for my next role to be a process engineer. So I'll probably leave management again, and I'll go back crunching data. But this is exactly what I was trying to say before. I suggest everyone to actually do a graduate scheme, because you've got engineers, like software engineers, who spend a lot of time in front of a computer, but operations engineers, they live and breathe on the shop floor. They interact with associates. So you've got the people side of the business, and yet you're still doing engineering things and technical and automation and, you know, future looking things. So this is, I hope this answers your question. Basically, yeah. I'm not going to go in all the details on the people that I've got around me, the academic background, but this is to give you an idea that I've got people coming from engineering, there's people coming from management, people coming from geography, philosophy, to get back on what Anne was saying before. If kids, you know, want to do philosophy, that doesn't necessarily mean they cannot work on engineering projects or engineering companies or different roles. There's different type of engineers, really, and that's what I believe really needs to be clear to everyone. Like operational engineers, whether you're working in a manufacturing company such as Rolls-Royce, BA, Eaton, and you are living and breathing the manufacturing process, the manufacturing line with block of metals, or you're working for companies such as Amazon, IKEA, where it's more retail, and you've got your engineering is automation engineering, so improvement, robotics engineering, all of these. It's different type of engineering, but it's always engineering.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kanav, and thank you, Giovanni. Giovanni, another question has come up from one of our other mentees, Ali, who has asked, what do firms such as Rolls-Royce and Amazon focus on when deciding whether to employ you or not? For example, do they focus on your A-levels, your GCSEs, your experience, or just your degree?
This is a great question. And the answer is almost none of them. So from what I learned in my experience going through different interviews, at Rolls-Royce, when you join the graduate scheme, provided that you pass the online test, as soon as so the way it works for graduate scheme, for people who don't know that, is that you apply with your CV and cover letter, you get automatically sent a test, which is an online test. Usually is a logical, reasonable, and behavioral test, which tests different skills, tests logical skills, tests people skills, emotional intelligence skills, and so on. And if you pass that test, you're normally invited to a phone interview or an assessment center. And at that point, at the assessment center, for Rolls-Royce specifically, in my experience, is almost, it doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter what your academic degree is. If you're there, it's because they think you have something to add to the company, and they're looking for team players. When you join big corporations, you've got to think that you need to be a team player. You can be the best engineer in the world, but if you're not able to work in a team and to play along other people's strengths and just focusing on yours, that is not what a company wants, because the success of the overall company is much greater than the success of one single individual. So is be a team player, making sure that you've got emotional intelligence, so you know when to speak and when not to, and also making sure that you are interested in learning from other people, because you'll see that when you actually join your first company, you probably realize that you don't know much about it, about your job. You think you knew everything from university, but then you realize that it's totally different and you've got to start from scratches, really. I think this is the main thing the company are looking for, really. People that are willing to go above and beyond what's required, are always curious to learn new things and to be team players.